Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. My name is Cara Lee and this is a channel about quilting and cross stitch mostly. Sometimes a few other things, crafts that I get into. I'm hoping someday we'll have some crochet to show, but not yet, not much yet. So anyway, so today is June 29th, Monday, I think. I am a teacher and I'm on summer vacation. I have a little less than a month left. So yeah, so it's been really fun. I've been getting lots done. So I have no complete finishes. I was hoping this would be finished, but it's not yet. I have whips. I have, what do I have? Plans. I have haul, and I have giveaway winners from last time. So I had a giveaway for my 3,000 subscribers. Um, and yeah, so I picked those and we'll go over that at the end here. Okay, so this one I wanted to have the camera set up like this just so you could see where I am on this. This is the Scrappy Days Quilt Along by Jessica Dayon. It finished a while ago, but I did not, so we're still working on it. She has another one that already started that I'm like 3 weeks behind on that I wanted to do too. I can never keep up. But I do have all the stars. So I was working on getting all the stars cut out so I could just sew. So they are all cut out, all the pieces, and now I can just pull them and sew. All the red, pink, and orange are sewn together, and some of the green and yellow. So I got all the orange together, and I'm putting it in rows as I get all the different color stars put together instead of waiting till the end. So as I do that, I finish as many as I can in the row, and then I finish as many as I can in the sashings there. But I was so close. Once I had the orange, I only needed 2 yellows and a green. Am I pointing right? It's so hard to point behind you on a camera. So I was like, I'm just going to make them. So we'll see. Um, I may just keep going like this, doing each row and making whatever I need out of those colors to finish that, at least till I get done with the green. Then maybe I'll stop and do all the aqua and blue or the teal. So red, orange, yellow. So I have red done. I have all the pink done. I have all the orange done. I have to do yellow, green, teal, and this is an aqua. I did like a aqua tealy color and then like a periwinkle bluish color. So mine down here isn't really aqua, it's blue. These are kind of combination of teals and blues because I didn't have that many dark teals. Anyway, and I'm using all Lori Holt scraps, all Lori Holt fabrics. Every star is a different Lori Holt fabric. Okay, I lied. Every star is a different fabric. They're not all Lori Holt. But pretty much I think all the backgrounds are because I had a whole fat quarter bundle of backgrounds. So I'm just going to decide. I think I'll probably definitely keep doing it where I'm making the yellow and green as I put these top at least 1, 2, 3, 4 rows together. And then I may stop and make the blue. So we'll see. Or I may just keep going, putting each row together because it's fun seeing it come together. So anyway, 2 rows just about put together and all the blocks are cut out. I just have to keep sewing them. I've been making a Stitchy summer camp videos every week, so that's been taking up a lot of my time, recording those and everything. So I've been recording almost every day for that. So haven't got as much done. If I wasn't doing that, this would probably be finished. But it's been fun because I'm learning new things, and that's what summer is all about. Or at least that's what I wanted this summer to be all about. So if you haven't seen those Stitchy summer camp videos, I'll link them below. Let me write that down so I don't forget to link it below. And they've been fun. They've just been me learning new things that I keep wanting to try and never get time to. So it's been fun, and I've been learning a lot. So that's good. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera and move this a little bit closer, and then we can talk about other things. Okay, I also have been working on getting my king size quilt, the binding sewed on. I had said I was going to do an hour a day, and I thought that would make me finish it in 4 days. Well, I haven't, shocker, done an hour a day. I've done like 15 minutes every so often. So I have one whole side and a half done. So I need to finish that, but there it is. So we're getting there, a little bit at a time. And then I also have been working on the stitch along that a bunch of us are doing. I'm sorry, every time I bump that microphone, it makes a noise, and I keep forgetting it's there, and I bump it. My husband said I might be able to put it in the back of my shirt, so I might try that sometime because that would be nice. So anyway, I have been working on the Fat Quarter Flowers quilt, and this is so funny because this is supposed to be a really easy quilt. And it is easy. But if you are new to quilting, be careful making your half square triangles unless you're using the paper. I think if you're using the paper like they recommend, it's probably fine. I didn't have the paper, so I just cut bigger and made half square triangles and trimmed down like the 2 at a time. So I think I did 2 8-inch squares, sewed down the each side of the center line and made them. But I was not careful enough because mine were very inaccurate, and so they were really a little smaller than they should have been. And I should have just trimmed them all down to the, a size they could all be, like 6 3/4 or something like that. But I didn't, or whatever. I forget what they came out at. 7.5, 7.5. So I should have trimmed down like 7 1/4. But yeah, I didn't, and I just kept easing it in. But it all came together in the end. So I am making the lap size, and I was using an old Tilda line, Sun-Kissed Summer, Sun-Kissed, something like that. And so I got the whole top pieced. And I'll post a picture here so you can see the whole thing. Actually, because I'm not going to be able to show you the whole thing here very easily. But kind of here are some of the stars. So it's all, I did all teals and blues from that line. There's, yellows and orange in that line. I just used all the teals and blues. I think it's pretty much all from that line. There might be a few other lines in here. But yeah, so I love how the colors came out. They're awesome. But this one doesn't call for a binding, but I messed up enough that instead of it being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5x4, mine is 4x4. So then I just felt like I wanted a border. So I couldn't find that fabric anywhere. But I did find these 2 Tilda prints, which look really nice with it. I'll show you. So those are going to look good. So I'm going to use a little skinny border out of that, and then a bigger border out of this one, and then I'll be done. So I hope you've at least started yours. If not, no hurry. But do make sure you watch Kimberly's video from Fat Quarter Shop, because I should have watched that first, because I started off doing it wrong. I cut them wrong. And I posted on my community page how you need to position them to cut them, and it tells you in the video as well. But I didn't watch that. I just started cutting, and I cut them wrong. So that's part of why I didn't have enough blocks. And then a couple were way too small. So I just made it 4x4 and we're good. But it's really pretty. I would like to make it again in Halloween fabrics, but I'm going to order the paper because I want to try it with the half square triangle paper from Fat Quarter Shop, the 7.5-inch size, and just see if it's much more accurate, just as an experiment. It'd be fun, than this one was. But I'm happy it came out. It's good. It's done. Yay. Okay. So let's see. What else do I have? I'm going to grab my notebook here real quick so I don't forget anything. All right. So, okay. The only other thing that I'm currently working on is the socialites blocks. So I have up to 17 done. So I keep meaning to do 18 and 19, but I just haven't gotten there yet. So I will show you all again. But I'm doing it the 3-inch size because I want to make a little mini quilt. And I'm using just a few Lori Holt teals and greens and blues and a plain white. And so here are mine. Oh, okay, never mind. Here's 2 the same one. I redid this one because I think I like it better with all the green. Let's see. I don't know, which one do you like better? I think I remember really not liking this one when I made it. I think I do like all the green better, but I'm not disliking it as much as I did. But I think these are so cute. This is going to be such a cute little quilt. I love this one. This would be a really pretty, make the 9-inch size and, make a whole big full-size quilt. And I still want to do the 6-inch ones that I had started for Socialites 2 and mix those in with 3, and I'll do a different setting. I won't do the setting they're giving for 3, but I am going to use that setting for this one. So Fat Quarter Shop has a setting that you can put these in when you're done. And I'm going to use it for these, but I think I'm going to make the 6-inch. But, and I've talked about this before, but I had started Socialites 2 and even have a bunch of the blocks cut up and not sewn together. So I'm just going to use those same fabrics and just make like, I don't know, maybe 20 of them and set them in like one of those Lori Holt simple settings with cornerstones and stuff attaching. So I am loving these colors. I think this is so pretty. I love this flower one. And any kind of star. I love stars, which I don't think I have a whole star quilt, which is crazy because I love stars. I have plans for a bunch of them, but I don't have them made. That one's really cute. And this cute little house. And that one. So I just need to make 18 and 19, and then 20 will be out this Friday. And I'll be all caught up, and they don't take long to make. So those are all my current whips. So I'm going to stop right now, and then we will do plans. Okay, plans. I have, as usual, way too many plans. And I have more than even this, but these are my immediate focus right now, plans. So in my Stitchy Summer Camp videos, there's a few things I've started that are going to be continuing on that are quilts that are plans. So like my first vlog was on making a jelly roll rug, which I did. So I'm done with that. I do want to make a bigger one come fall for my hallway, but not doing that yet. But I also, for my second vlog, was learning the Crabapple Hill Designs style of embroidery and coloring your embroidery quilt block. So Meg, I forget her last name, Harkey, something like that. Anyway, she is retired, and so you can't buy these patterns from her anymore. You can find some on the secondary market, but they are a little harder to find. But when she was closing, I bought a ton of them. And one quilt that I really love was this Superstition. And so it's different alphabet letters, and then there's a design to go with it. And basically you trace it on your background fabric with a Omicron, or was it Pigma, those Pigma Sakura, well, I forget how you say them, but Pigma pens, a light brown. And then you color in different areas by what she says in the pattern with either crayons or colored pencils. So if you watch my second summer camp video, I practiced with both, and I decided that I liked pencils better, and I had ordered a big set of Prisma pencils when I was planning this, and she gives you the colors for the Prisma. Now you could just use whatever colors you want, but so since my first one, I thought I'm just going to go by what she says, and it was really fun coloring with the pencils. I really liked it. So I'm working on getting all of them traced, and then I will start coloring them, all of them, and then I will embroider them. So I'll just keep you updated as I go along. This is just this won't be done this Halloween, I'm sure. Maybe next Halloween, hopefully, if I don't stop working on it. It doesn't take that long, but the tracing does kind of make my wrist hurt a little bit after I do it for so long. So I'm kind of doing it slowly. Okay, so here's what I have done, A and B. Well, I did A as a practice. Oh no, I have A and B done. Yeah. Okay, so here's well, let me show you first. Here's what it looks like when you trace it. And so this is the background fabric, and then a piece of white muslin will go behind here before I embroider it, and then I'll embroider through both pieces. I'm not totally sure why that is, but this is the brown Pigma 0.05 pen. I also tried the sepia, which is a brownie black, and I liked the brown better, and that's what she calls for. So there's A, and here's B. And then I traced A again, cute, to practice coloring. And here is my practice piece. And I was pretty happy with that. I mean, she shows you how to color, how to blend with certain tools and all that. She has a video on her channel. You can still find it on YouTube. Well, you can't see, but I didn't grab the right one. Let me see if I have it here. Hold on. Oh yeah, here it is. So here's what she says it should look like. And here's what mine looks like in case you didn't watch those videos where I already showed it. And then there's obviously the whole quilt. And I have all the fabric and everything for the whole quilt. I've had this kitted up for a couple years. And that's why I was doing this Stitchy Summer Camp, because I really want to do these things. But especially during the school year when I'm busy, taking the time to actually stop and not do other things and learn them, I just don't do it. So this has been really great. It has been taking a good bit of time, but now I know how to do it. So I don't have to be like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to get it out and read it, figure it out. Now I know I can just get it out and do it. So I'm excited about that. So these have been really, doing these summer camp videos have been really fun. Okay. So that was Stitchy Summer Camp Volume 2. I'm gonna grab my lemonade. I was craving lemonade. I have not had like real, because I haven't been drinking sugary stuff, so I haven't had real lemonade in a long time. But I was just craving it. And I wanted to make some, but we were at Publix yesterday, so I just bought Publix lemonade. That's good. Okay. So then the third week, oh, and I didn't say I've been spinning on a wheel. So you know how I love those just tiny decision app wheels, kind of. This one is called Spin the Wheel. And so so here's my wheel. That's what's left. And every time I do something, I take it off. So did I take off? Yeah, foundation paper piecing came out this week. That uploaded yesterday on my channel. So I took that off. And this is what I have left to do. And I did spin at the end of those videos for the one I'm recording this week. So you'll have to watch to find out which one of those I'm doing this week. So yeah, so that's been fun. And so whatever I spin this week, I'll take off, and next week I'll spin from what's left. And I'm going to keep doing it until they're all done. I talked about a schedule in that video to get them all done, and it's going to kind of creep into me starting school. So the last one or two might take a little longer, but I'm going to do it. So, okay. So the third week was foundation paper piecing is what I spun. Now I've done foundation paper piecing before, just very basic. So like this is, I decided to do this log cabin block. That's pretty easy. I've done the Fat Quarter Shop papers, the square and square, and the quartz steps, because they had a quilt that you use those to make Her and Lori Holt a few years back. So I made that quilt, which, where is that quilt? I think it's up in my closet. Anyway, so this I pretty much knew how to do. I just needed a little refresher on it. But I've never done very complicated foundation paper piecing. So I had joined Liz Taylor Handmade. She has a YouTube channel, and in my foundation video, I linked all my sources below in that video. But so if you're interested, go back and watch that, and you can see all the links. But she has a YouTube channel. She has an Etsy shop. She has a website, and you can join her community for a certain amount each month. And she gives you like 3 free patterns and videos and stuff to make out of them. I did join it for the first month, but I'm not doing it again because she has a lot of YouTube videos too. And I'm not going to be doing that much of it, but I just wanted to kind of see, what it was all about. So one of the ones I got free when I joined last month was a goose block. Let me find it here. And so I made that, and I did that in my foundation paper piecing videos. And I made one wrong first. It was almost right, but there were a few mistakes, and I made it again, and then it came out perfect. And it was really, really fun, but it was a lot more detailed than, something like this. But I learned a lot, so that was great. So here is my mistake one. And then here is my one I fixed, and I still haven't taken the papers off the back. I did find that pressing them open works really nice. It lays nice and flat, and it's easy to do on these. So, and the reason I'm doing a dark background is because I have been admiring those Midnight in the Garden quilts people have been doing for years, where you do all kinds of flowers and sometimes a moon and sometimes animals, mixed in, and you do it all with dark blue backgrounds like this. And put it all together, and it's just a cool, gardeny kind of quilt. So I think I'm gonna put him in my Midnight in the Garden quilt, I think. And so I'm gonna work on that like just here over the next few years. I don't know. I don't have any plans for working on it a lot and getting it done. I'm just gonna work on it as the mood strikes me. And a lot of those blocks will be paper pieced. And I found a lot of Liz Taylor Handmade has a lot of flower blocks. I also found a couple other Etsy stores in that. So I've linked those in that foundation paper video. I linked those below. But that was fun, and I learned a lot. And so I pulled a bunch of blues just to get me started. And I'm just going to keep these all together and, add to it as I go along. But this is the one I did the goose in. And then I have that one. They're all kind of like at a purpley blue because, you know, I like that. And I was trying not to be too matchy, just get the same tone because I tend to always, I don't know, I have a problem with being too matchy. And I show some examples in my foundation paper piecing video, some examples of ones made. And if you just type in "Midnight in the Garden" quilt, you'll see all those examples. So yeah, so that was fun. Okay, so now for the log cabin one, so my plans for that is the Midnight Garden. For this one, My So Quilty Life is hosting a summer at the cabin quilt along. So you can go to her blog to find out about that. And she's making 7-inch just regular piece log cabins. And she gives you, I think she's making 64 of them, so 8x8. So she has like 3 or 4 8x8 settings you can choose from. Since I wanted to do paper piece, couldn't find a 7-inch finish. So this is 7.5-inch finish. So I'm just going to use that. And I think I might do 10x10. So we'll see. So it'll be a little bit bigger. And I'm going to use all Lori Holt fabrics for the color part and all whites. I'm going to try to use as many Lori Holt as I can for the whites, but I'm starting to run low after making this one. And I had said in one of my videos I was going to make, you know, like these two the same and these two the same. I decided not to do that. And where I got this idea, other than it just being a classic block, is why do I always forget her name? Long arm quilter that I love watching. I've said it, Tammy Ernest. When I start saying it, I remember. She showed a video, or she showed in one of her videos a quilt that somebody made with all Lori Holt fabrics like this, and red centers, and, you know, all Lori Holt creams. And I think it was out of the autumn collection. It was really pretty. So I'm kind of copying that. Ever since I saw that, I can't get it out of my mind. And I had thought about going with teal centers, but I have a lot of reds, and reds are very traditional. So I decided I'm going to go with all reds. So I think I'm going to do 10 reds because I'm going to have 100 blocks. So 10 different reds. I'll cut 10 from each one. So I'm thinking that now. And I'm just cutting 2-inch. That's the one thing I learned with the foundation paper piecing is you want to make sure your piece you're putting down is big enough that it's going to cover everything with a 1/4 inch around it. So you have the seam allowance when you go to the next piece. And I talk about it in that video if you want more information. And there's all kinds of videos on YouTube about it. But you want to use a big enough piece. That was the biggest thing. So that's my plan for that. Now I am going to work on those a little bit here and there before even the quilt along starts. I think the So Quilty Life starts like July 6th or something like that. So next week. But my July is going to be really busy. We're going away. We're going to California to see Isaac in a couple weeks, for a week. And my youngest daughter just bought a house, so they're supposed to be moving here in the middle of July. And I go back to school July 23rd. So my July is going to get crazy here. So June was amazing. I got to just be home. I hardly went out of the house and just do organize, clean, sew, quilt, cross stitch. It's been a blast. But June's going to get a little crazy. So I'm not going to wait till the quilt along starts for that. I'm going to just keep working on it here and there. Okay. So those are my paper piecing. And then I still have not started this, but I want to. So this is hold on, if you could see around me. I know everybody always says that, but oh my gosh, it's a hot mess. One sec. Okay. I want to make this the summer because it's so summery. So it is the Lagoon quilt, and I have everything to do it. I just need to start, and I've just been starting everything under the sun. Well, like I said, and doing these videos is taking up time. But so I am using the Tilda Reef collection, and I have everything here ready to go. I just need to start cutting. So hopefully in 2 weeks, I'll have some of this done when I come back to see you. There you go. I'm set it, so I have to have some done. So that's the plan. And I've showed these fabrics before. I'll just show you a little bit real quick here. There. So this is one of the layer cakes. It takes layer cakes, so that's great. 2 layer cakes is what you need for this. So I have 2 layer cakes plus some extra that I got in a sampler box. isn't that gorgeous? And this is going to be my background. So pretty. I'm super excited about that. And then another plan I would like to do, I was watching T Rose Quilting. I think that's what it is, T Rose Quilting. And she showed this. She does a lot of Kim Deal. And she had finished this. And I've had this kit forever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I have it. So I found it and pulled it out. So I think I'm going to try that, make that up here in July. It's cool. I love it because she didn't use blue, like traditional blue. She used teals for the star. And it's like a door banner. So I would like to get that made up here in July. I don't think it should take too long. But I mean, this is a lot. We always know I plan way too much. And then that Home Sweet Home quilt. So after this one is done, I'm really trying to make myself wait to start that one until this one is done, but I'm getting way behind. But it's not a hard quilt, so it's not a big deal. All right, let me find it here. So I'm looking in my binder here, my quilt binder. I got this idea from La-Di-Da Quilts. I always forget her name exactly, or I always think I'm saying it wrong. So she calls it her brain binder. I was just watching her last video, which was so good. If you haven't watched it, she made a mistake and recorded with a fan going, and it sounds like you're on a mountaintop and it's really windy sounding. And she talks about how she tried to fix it and she just couldn't. And anyway, so she ended up posting it, and I'm glad she did because it was a really good video. I mean, the sound, after you watch it for a while, you kind of forget that it's there, like you don't notice it, but she had so many good projects. Anyway, so she has a binder. She calls her brain binder. So that's where I got this idea. It's just my quilty binder. And I have all my whips, plans, just different sections, quilt alongs, dropping stuff, wish quilts, things I hope to do in the future, just all that kind of stuff, so that I keep it in one place. Because I would get ideas and I'd be like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I don't remember. Or what did I kit up this quilt for? I don't remember. So now it's all in here. So that's good. Okay, but let me go to quilt alongs. Okay, so this is by Jessica Dan. I love her stuff. And it's the Home Sweet Home quilt. This is from her first fabric collection. I'm going to do it out of a laundry basket collection I've had for ages called Royal Blue, which is not really royal blue, but it's got more teals in it. But so this is it, and I've added some to it to have enough to do this. This is what I'm going to use for, like, you need a couple yards of a white, so that's going to be my lighter couple yards. And then there's a few browns. So for this collection came with, hold on, just these two browns, which I kind of hate when collections do that, when they just have like a couple of one color. At least have 4 or 5, but anyway, so just those two. So I wanted to add a little more brown in. So I wrote to Laundry Basket Quilts and said, are there any browns that that would go with this? Because at my quilt shop, I couldn't find any. This is one I had in my stash too that kind of goes pretty well. It's a little lighter, but it's definitely the same tone. So I'm going to use that one too. But so she said, yeah. And I ordered them. They don't really go. So this was one of them. I mean, it's really pretty fabric, but it's not the same. And then the other one, I think, goes a little better. This is the other one, but they're much darker. Yeah, that's much darker. The same, this one is a little bit more of the same tone, but it is much darker. So I probably won't use those for that. I'll probably save these for, I don't know, something else. They're almost black, really. They're very dark brown. So that was kind of a bummer, but whatever, it's fine. So yeah, so I want to finish this and then get started on this one. So that is another plan. Let's see what, this way. Okay. So Lagoon, Liberty, Starband, Armor. Yeah. Okay. And then I am going to do this. The Quilted Witch. I still have not started her. So let me move this binder so I can pull her over. Well, I went to start her. And then I'm like, I can't leave well enough alone. I was like, well, even though I have the kit and I have everything I need to make it, wouldn't it be fun if I changed it just a little bit to add more teal? I know you're tired, but look what I'm wearing. I just love these colors. So I went to my quilt shop and they didn't have the one I wanted. So even though I have the background, but I'll use it for something else, I ordered the same background that's called for, but in the Alpine. So, and then I'm also going to change, so instead of this being green, I'm going to make it a teal color. And I think I'm going to make the band on her hat teal. And the rest I'm going to pretty much keep the same. So that's my little changes. So I had to wait for that fabric to come in. And now I can get started. And I keep going back and forth about starching it. But I think I'm not gonna, because a lot of it uses foundation paper, the triangles on a roll and all that from Fat Quarter Shop. And I have all those. So I'm going to use that, and then they should be pretty accurate even without starching, I think. I mean, I would love to starch it all, but I'll never get started if I have to starch all this. This is so much. So I think we're just going to forego starching on this one, forego starching, and use the foundation paper, and we should be good. So those are all my plans. Oh, wait, I have one more. The other plan I have, and I don't know when this might happen. I would like it to happen now, but it's probably going to be a slow process. My youngest daughter, who's 27, 28, something like that. I remember right now. She just bought a house. And there's a quilt that she had as a little kid. It was an ABC quilt. And we lived in Florida at the time. And I had her quilt for some reason and a patriotic quilt of my own that I had made were in the back of the car. And either me or my husband, I want to blame him, but I think it might have been me, went and got chlorine for the pool, which we often did. And apparently the cap was loose and it leaked all over and it ruined her quilt. It ruined, well, my patriotic one I still have because it didn't ruin it as much as it did hers. But I mean, as soon as the chlorine got on there, it just ate up the fabric. So she has been sad about that since the day it happened, 20 some years ago, and has wanted me to make it. And I happen to have the book still. And I happen to have some of the fabric. So I made it with all white backgrounds and like really pastel-y letters. It was adorable. I'm not even sure. I have to look and see if I have a picture anywhere of it. So the other day she's like, "Oh, you should make me an alphabet quote for my housewarming gift." So I'm going to try to get this made up for her. Maybe not for housewarming because she's moving in like 2 weeks, but maybe at least for Christmas. So we'll see. But this is one of the fabrics I still have, which was so cute. So I'm going to just kind of pick fabrics to go with this. So I'm thinking even I might do it in Ruby Stars, like all her bright fabrics, and maybe some tildes. So I pulled this one. I'm going through my scraps and just seeing what ones I might have from the original quilt because I have some pretty old scraps. And we'll see, and then I'll put it together. But I'm going to try to get it as close as I can remember to the original one. So yeah, great old book. So those are all my plans. Yes. Okay, I'm going to stop and clean up and we will do haul. Okay. Haul. And then we'll do giveaway. Actually, you know what? I'll do giveaway here first in case you don't want to watch haul. So let me do that first. Okay, so I had 4 giveaways for little bundles with quilt patterns or fabric or whatever in them. And so I wrote the names on there that I drew, but I'll also post it up in the picture as I say it because I'll probably pronounce it wrong. Of course, in the first one, I forgot, okay, to write it on. Let me look it up. I took screenshots of them too, so I would remember. Okay, so the first one was this little pack of fabric I had gotten in a sampler box that I was not going to use. It's 3 charm packs and this cute little Riley Blake pin holder. So you had to say the word fabric for that. And I would love for you to be a subscriber. So if you win, especially and you're not a subscriber, if you subscribe, that would be great. But I was trying to go through and see who are subscribers, and it's just kind of a pain. So I don't care that much. So, but if you win, I would love for you to be a subscriber. Okay, so the one who won fabric is Diane Myers 8727. So you should be seeing it up there right now. She wrote, "Love your Tilda fabric. Could sew a beautiful quilt with it." So yeah, so Diane, you have won the fabric bundle. And I actually have a couple extra things I found that I'm going to throw in with this as well. So if you would just, I would love if you could message me on Instagram. I am Stitching is Elementary on Instagram, or my email is below. It's stitchingiselementary@gmail.com. So Instagram is just a little easier, and I'll see it usually quicker. But um, you can email me as well. Also, the reason I stopped there is thinking I had a giveaway on my floss tube last week too, and there were 3 winners, and 1 has notified me, 2 have not. So if you entered any of my floss tube giveaways, if you would go back and watch that video and see if you won and send me an email. Okay. So congrats, Diane. Okay, the second one was for this whole pack of Fat Quarter Shop Sew Sampler patterns from over the years that I am not going to use. So, and that was Mike Zurby, Zurbey. You're seeing it up there, 3724. So once again, either message me on Instagram or email me, and I will send these out to you. So congrats. Okay, and then the third one was a set of 3 patterns, but I'm actually sending in a little surprise with that one too. So this was home. You had to put the words home if you wanted this one. It's my hometown, farm cottage, and then just this honeybee collage quilt. And the winner for that was Katie Hughes 340. So Katie, congrats, and if you would just message me on Instagram or email me, please. And I will get those sent out to you. And there's a little extra one in there. And then the last one was for Patriotic Quilts. So we had Glory Days Pattern Company. This was Scrappy Flag. Glitter Quilts, which is also another Scrappy Flag. But this comes in 4 different sizes. You can make it in Throw, Queen, King, and Baby Betsy, it's called. And Cathedral Window Flag from Shabby Fabrics. And I have something extra that I threw in there also. Actually, it's a little fabric. So the winner of that was Jen, DOMASZEWICZ. So I was the winner of that one. So once again, if you contact me, and I will get these out in the mail to you. I've been kind of waiting. I haven't sent out my cross stitch ones yet because I was kind of waiting to see if I heard back from those 2 other people. And I was hoping maybe I could get everybody out at the same time, but if not, we'll just send them out as they come in. So yeah, so congrats to everybody. And yep, just email me or message me with your address, please. Okay, so that is all the giveaways. So congratulations. And if you're not interested in haul, I totally understand, and I will see you later. Otherwise, let's get started on haul. So when I ordered those 2 laundry basket quilts fabrics, I had to order a couple other things. So I've always wanted this line. This is Sweet Ride. So I ordered, it was on sale, I think, a layer cake of it. Why am I so bad at showing fabrics like this? But yeah, so Sweet Ride. And then I've loved this quintessential line where it's all the plaids and polka dots. So I got the cool version of that. And I ordered 2 charm packs too, but I didn't realize they were apparently pre-order. They were from New Fabric, so those will come someday. All right. And then I was looking for Christmas fabrics since I've kind of changed my colors out in the family room. I used to always do like fig tree green, red, and cream, and that was my whole tree was a Santa tree in that. But now I'm doing more teals and kind of sea blues in there. So I'm going to change to like teals and pinks and reds and just like kind of all the colors with teal and pink, a lot of teal and pink. So I found this line called Magical Season by Katie Daisy from Barnett. How do you say that? Benartex. And I thought it was really pretty. So let me show you some of those. So I actually ordered it from her site. I love all the teals. And then to get free shipping, I think is why I also ordered, she had this line that's like, I don't even know the name of it. I took the thing off. I just wrapped it up because it didn't come with a backer board and wrapped up. It just kind of came like this, but it's all like the first one is jams. So jams and flowers. It might be called wildflower butterflies. So I'll just show you some of them. So I love this print with the jams all over it. And it comes in a couple different colors. It comes in this pink color too. So cute. And then there's a bunch of florals. Just super bright, happy colors. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I don't know. I'm thinking it was called Wildflower, but I might be wrong. But it's Katie Daisy. If you look it up and go to her site, you can find it there. And there's a bunch of like tile prints like this in different colors. These cute birds. So, got that. And then I was bad, but I don't care because I love this so much. I know I have enough quilt kits, but Elizabeth Hartman came out with a new line called Scenery, which I love. And I've always attracted her quilts, and I really haven't made any yet. But this one for my teal family room, I had to have. So I ordered it from Stitch Supply Co. And they come in these cool bags. First, I'll show you the bag. Everything I order from them comes in one of these bags, just so nice. And I got I think it's called casserole kit, because it'll just go so pretty in my family room. I have a quilt rack in there, and I'm just picturing it hanging there. Oh, look at that. So gorgeous. I think this was an older pattern she had, that casserole, yeah, that she redid in these colors. So it comes with her whole, let me open it up. So there's the pattern. And I guess you can make it in, yeah, 2 different sizes. And then here is the whole kit of her fat quarters. And then this is the background. It's just a dark greeny color. It is a Bella Solid, I think. Let's see, do they tell us the name of it? Verdant. Bella Verdant is the name of the background. And you need 7 yards for the big quilt, so yeah. So excited. I was just trying to see. I didn't know if I assuming they just gave you enough for the big quilt. Yeah, quilt kit includes pattern fabrics for the quilt top and binding for the 86 by 86, but then in the pattern there's also a small version. So yeah, so I am very excited about that. I guess that's really in plans too. I just don't know when. But I love that. And the piecing looks pretty big because it's such a huge quilt, so I don't think it'll be too time intensive, I hope. So we shall see. And then I got a couple books. I wanted to show you. And a couple patterns. Okay. Well, these patterns aren't new, but I just printed them out because they're on my mind. Okay, so, but the books I got, well, actually, let me show you the patterns first. So this is Helen Phillips. I think she lives in England, and she has some cross stitch and some quilt stuff, and she has an Instagram account that she's very active on, and she has an Etsy store. So it's Helen Phillips, you can see there. And I keep seeing this on her Instagram account, and I'm like, I want to make that. So most of her quilts are littler. They're more like 40 by 50 something. So I might make it bigger, or we'll see. I might leave it that size. But it's just a 25 patch, but it's just so cute. So I printed out that to remind myself. And they're also her Evening Stars quilt. I mean, they're super, super simple. You almost don't need a pattern. But her patterns are very inexpensive. So if you're a beginner, these would be good. This is her rainbow quilt pattern, and she did all Tilda scraps. And then I love this one, mushrooms. I think it's so cute. I have someone in mind to make this for. So yeah, so I guess those should have been in plans, but I'm not sure when we're going to get to those. Okay, and then I also got a couple different books. So I got this book because I was watching Tammy Ernest, and she was, oh, no, I lied. I was watching Cora Yoder, and someone sent in a picture of a quilt from here that they made with her fabrics, and I really loved it. Now, this was published in, let's see, 2005 by Oxmoor House. Remember Oxmoor House? And it's just tons, like it says, tons of scrap quilts in it. But the one that really caught my eye, I mean, there's a lot of really pretty quilts in here, and they look super, you know, I mean, I think of them as looking 90s-ish, but it is 2005. All right, let me see if I should have marked it. This is not an easy quilt that I have fallen in love with, but let me find it. Okay, here it is. It's called the Spiraled Feathered Star. Okay, so not easy. The person who made it said they got like these, I think it's called something lingo, where they'll print out the templates for you and all of that. But I think I'll just make it from this book whenever I decide to do it. I thought about hand piecing it, and I tried hand piecing and I don't like it. So that probably won't be it. But there's like all that, it's tons of templates because it's an old book. So someday I'd like to think about making that. I think it's so pretty. But there were a bunch of other ones in here that were even easier that I really, really liked. Like, let me find it. Okay, this one called Moon and Star Whimsy. I thought in all like Halloween reproduction fabrics, wouldn't that be cool? That actually might be the first one I try. But so I got this from like, I don't know, thrift books or something. Like it wasn't much. So you can find it out there. Originally was $35.95, so that's a lot for back then. But yeah, so cool book. So then the other book I got, I've been looking at this one because I've been watching Rachel Quilt's channel, and I think she made this quilt, but it's Alice's Wonderland Sampler Quilt. Oh, and there's someone on Instagram who's showing every day as she makes these. So you make a block a day, like for 100 days. I probably wouldn't do it that way, but I might do so many per month. But I'm thinking about doing it once again, all in Lori Holt fabrics. So I'm trying to decide if that's what I'm going to do. This is all in Liberty. I'm not really a big, huge Liberty fan, and they're kind of more expensive, so I wouldn't do that. I thought I could do it all in blues and whites, but I kind of want to do colors. So I don't know. So I'm thinking about it. But it has 100 different blocks in there, and they go from piecing to applique. And I think they're 6 inches. And I was even thinking about maybe doing it as quilt as you go. The only thing I'd have to think about is how to do these borders as quilt as you go, which you can. I just have to think about that. Like you'd have to sew. I was thinking maybe I could sew these 2 borders together and then layer them with batting and quilt them, and then you just sew all the pieces together. But I've done a quilt as you go quilt. Well, I've done a couple, but I did a Halloween one, and it went together really well. And it's nice because then you can quilt each block individually. So I don't know. But this is just a future someday and fun to look at book. I just think it'd be fun to do. So that is all my haul. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found some inspiration. Once again, I'll link those summer camp videos below if you'd like to watch those and try something new this summer if you haven't. I mean, you've probably done a lot of those things, but maybe there's something that you want to try, you've been thinking about, and you could give it a try. Is that it? Yeah, I think so. So I should be back in a couple weeks. This will be done. Mark my words. And we'll see what else I've gotten into. So I hope all is well with you, and I'll see you later. Bye.